All right, no sweat. We can definitely get into all that. Hey, I'm gonna text you everything as well, just so that way you have it. Um, let's see. All right, I sent it to you, and it looks like we on YouTube and everything as well. All right, no sweat. All right, most high in Christ. Hey, go ahead, clap it up, clap it up. All right, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood Scripture Breakdown class. Well, we come in here and we're going to talk about brotherhood and sisterhood, and we're going to get into the Bible. And we have to understand that even if the Bible says he or the man, it's talking about, when it's talking about brotherhood, it's talking about brotherhood and sisterhood. This is something that both of us can do. It's not just something that a man can do. It's not just something that a woman can do. It's what we both can do. So that way, at the end of the day, we are helping one another. All right, today's class is going to be about communication, because this is something that every now and then we got to get back on, because we all deal with lack of communication at times. And us having a lack of communication is like us having a lack of compassion for one another. And we got to work on having compassion for one another and being kind to one another. General Muhammad speaks on being kind to one another in a marriage all the time. So we have to work on these things, and communication is one of the biggest things that we can work on. If we work on communication with one another, then there shouldn't be anything to be able to come in between us. All right. So let's go to the first thing. Let's go to the first precept. Hey, brother, go to Proverbs 21 and 23. All right. Proverbs 21 and 23. Just let me know once you have it. All right.
This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
Read that one more time. Let's just go ahead and let's dig real deep into that one.
Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
Now, when you hear in the Bible say, whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble, what do y'all automatically think about right then and there?
I'm sorry, nothing won't be done.
You said what out?
I'm sorry, nothing won't be done.
Okay. Brother, grab that microphone right there next to that sister. Just grab that microphone. If you have, just go ahead and turn it on. What do you think about when you hear that?
Putting yourself in a situation, you used to hear rappers say writing a check that you can't cash.
Right, writing a check that you can't cash, right? So a lot of times, right, we feel like when we dealing with certain situations or see certain things, we feel like we should speak on it, right? So there's sometimes that you shouldn't speak on everything that's going on. If you have something to say about every single thing that's going on, you're gonna find yourself into some trouble, right? That's like kind of being a Captain Saber. We all know what Captain Saber, right? You don't really know what the situation is, but you just jumping into it because you just right there at that moment. But really and truthfully, what you're jumping into is a situation that you shouldn't even be involved in. Everything does not call for you to have something to say. Every action doesn't have to have a reaction, because sometimes you got to see it for what it really is. That's just like in a marriage, right? There's a time that both parties, there's times that a demon can hop onto your husband or a demon can hop onto the wife, and a small situation turns into a bigger situation because of what? Somebody feeling like they have to have the last word. They have to argue. They have to combat something that's being said, when really and truthfully, if you would have just been quiet and been like, you know what? Okay, well, maybe we can't talk right now. All right, so let's have a conversation when cooler heads can prevail. then you can gain one another. Then there's a possibility that, you know what, whatever I'm thinking about right now, I'm just upset. I'm just mad. So I'm really not hearing out what you have to say. So you know what, let's take a step back. You know what, let's talk about it in a couple of hours or so. And then we'll come back. And then we'll try the conversation again when both of us are calm. When you keep yourself from saying things that you don't really and truthfully mean, you keep yourself from trouble. Like there's plenty of times out of anger, you be like, man, you little stupid little bit. But that's not really how you feel about your wife. That's not really how you feel about your husband. That's just how you feel while you're upset and angry and mad. And you know, once you calm down, now you regret even saying that, because now the person that I love thinks that this is really how I feel about them. And that's not how I feel about you. I love you and I care about you so much. But what you did just made me so mad. It made me so angry that I just said something. And what I said, I can't take back now. And now it has me in trouble. Now, I'm not saying trouble as you getting a spanking or something like that as a man or even as a woman. I'm saying it puts you in the trouble because now you have offended your brother, your sister, your husband, or your wife. So now when you want to get back to being good with one another, you can't. Why? Because what you said, she's holding on to. She's holding on to that for dear life, because women listen to your words. It doesn't matter if you're mad. It doesn't matter if you're sad. It doesn't matter if you're happy. They listen to your words. They're going to hold on to your words, because as men, we don't hold on to grudges. But women, I'm going to tell you, women hold on to grudges. It's okay, because that's the nature of a woman. A woman does hold on to things longer than what a man does, because that's just who they are. So as men, we have to be mindful of what we say. We have to be mindful of how we treat our wives and what we say to our wives, because our women naturally are going to hold on to every word that you said to either be the reason why, okay, this is why I'm acting like this, because he said that I'm this. He said that I'm a stupid, dumb little girl, so now I'm going to act like a stupid, dumb little girl. And when he asked me why I'm acting like that, because you said I was a stupid, dumb little girl. If you don't want me to act like that, then don't say that I'm that. We know that as petty, but that's just how it is. But if we refrain from even saying those things, we can keep ourselves from that type of trouble. As brothers, we have to lead our households. And by us leading our households, we have to be mindful of that. We got to be mindful of the things that we say, the things that we do, because at the end of the day, if we say that we're the head, then we got to understand that everybody that's underneath us, watching us be the head, is seeing that to be okay. They're going to look at that to be okay. Well, he said that I'm this. This is how he dealt with the situation. He cussed me out. He called me all kind of names. So when I'm mad and I'm upset, I can do like he did. If we're going to speak against that, we can't do that. Correcting somebody, chastening somebody is not belittling them. It's not stomping on them and making them feel like they're like nothing, like they're dumb. You feel me? So that's why when the scripture is talking about, even right here when it says, whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble, bro, there's a lot of things that we can refrain, even in our communities. Man, do you know how many people get killed over something small? Do you know how many people get killed over what? A miscommunication? Man, it's like you walk past somebody think that you looking at them sideways. Hey, bro, what's good with you? Hey, man, what's good with you? Like, what you looking at me like that for? If we deal with the situation properly, if we keep our mouths and refrain from saying something crazy, we could deal with that situation better. Because everybody is what? They're moving off their what? Pride. In our community, we roll off of our pride. And we all know, according to the scripture, pride comes before what? A fall, destruction. So, as being brothers and sisters in this truth, we can't move based off of our pride. We got to move based off of logic. Move based off of what Christ wants us to be and who he wants us to be. Now we all know that Christ is a man of war. We all know God is a man of war. The Most High God is a man of war. That's his name. But he also have told us to do what? Love one another. We supposed to love him and then love one another as what?
As we love ourselves.
As we love ourselves. Do you want to argue with yourself every day?
Nah, I mean, I took a bath before I came here because I love myself. So.
Exactly. That's my thing. You gonna treat yourself good, right? You're not gonna just come and treat yourself poorly. You ain't gonna leave the house looking ratty and all that. You gonna make sure that you look presentable everywhere you go because you want people to see you as what? As somebody that's clean, as somebody that what loves themselves. Mm-hmm. So the same way that you do that, you should love one another as you love yourself. Yeah. So again, we got to learn how to communicate with one another. A bunch of crises that we deal with can be resolved if we will communicate with each other better. Let's go to Ephesians 4:29. When you got it, just let me know.
This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29.
Right.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Let no what?
Corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Keep going.
But that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer.
So when it says, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, do you not understand that out of your anger or out of frustration that some of the things that you say can corrupt others? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if there's a situation where a brother is mad, he can't think clearly, he can't see clearly, the only thing he sees is red. Do you think that what he's going to say out of his mouth is going to be of grace and understanding, or what he's going to say out of his mouth is going to be based off of him seeing red?
Based off of him seeing red.
Based off of him seeing red. Why? Because that's the only thing he can see at that time. If he's pissed off mad, if a sister's pissed off mad because of a situation has them in their feelings or upset or heated, the only thing they're going to say at that point in time is whatever comes to their mouth or whatever comes to their mind, because they're heated right then and there. And at the end of the day, what? You're letting corrupt communication fall into place. Because what is a demon's job? Let's talk about a demon's job. What is a demon's job?
Oh man, tempt you.
A demon's job is to tempt you, but what else is a demon's job? Yakabai, let me know what a demon's job is.
Kill.
It's to kill you, but how can a demon kill you? It has to first do what?
Control.
It has to also do what? For it to control you, it has to do something else. It has to separate you. A demon is a demon's job is to do what? To destroy you, to kill you, to tempt you, right? It's going to do everything that it can to divide you. Now let's talk about households for a moment. Why, when we grew up, our mother and our father wasn't together?
Oh, because they started arguing and stuff, and
they argued. They started arguing, and we know what arguments led to. They argued one moment, the next moment it started getting more and more arguing, and the next moment it started getting physical, and then all of a sudden now it's the Royal Rumble in the household. And now it got to the point where I'm stopped rumbling, the police getting called. Now somebody has to go. And who is going to have to go in the household every single time, never fails.
Depends on who called first.
Depends on who calls first. And even when it calls first, the man's going to have to go.
In trouble.
The man going to have to go. Right? But that's because corrupt communication has what? Been inside the household based off of our feelings and our pride and our demons.
Yeah.
Demons' jobs is to divide you. The demon's job is divide you to isolate you. Once I have you isolated, I can go through your mind and I can put all these different things in your mind to make you do what I want you to do. I don't want you with that man. I don't want you with that woman. I don't want you to become a priest and prophet of the Most High God. I don't want you to grow up. I want you to be that same person that I've been with for decades. And by that demon feeling like that, he feels like he has a hold over your life. But see, once you start following these scriptures and following these laws, statutes, and commandments, see, the demon can't have that type of hold on you no more. So now it's fighting over your power. It's fighting for power. But if you are following the scriptures and you're not letting no corrupt communication come about, and everything that comes out of your mouth is to what? To give people, what is it? What did it say? It said edifying, right? Right. Everything that you're saying is good fruit. Everything that you're saying is to help and encourage somebody to be better. Then where can a demon fall? Can a demon interrupt me and you if me and you are always talking in a positive, productive way?
No, there's nowhere for it to enter.
There's nowhere for it to enter, because at the end of the day, I'm not offending you. You're not offending me. We're having a conversation like grown adults. And at the end of the day, we have to listen to one another. We have to compromise. We have to have compassion for one another. So that way, what? Everything is being productive. So when the book of Ephesians is saying, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, it's telling you, just watch what you say. Don't sit here and be so quick to speak out of your anger, because at the end of the day, you speaking out of your anger is not going to resolve the situation, but it's going to make the situation worse. Because it says, but that which is good to use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Everything that you're doing, you have to watch what you say. Everything that you're doing. Because if you have children, your children are looking up to you. If you're a husband and you have a wife is looking up to you as well as your children. If you are a woman, the kids are looking up to you. And other sisters in the school is looking up to you. Other people that are watching you on social media. Do you know how many people watch you on social media? They're watching you to see what you're going to say next. They're watching you. Oh, this sister look like she mad. What's she gonna say about her husband today? Oh man, this brother look like he crazy. Like this brother don't. Oh man, he in his emotions. Man, y'all see that post that he posted saying, "Hey man, I don't need y'all, man. I could be one deep." Yeah, man, that brother. Hey, I don't know what's wrong with that brother, but that brother in his feelings today. Now, instead of you doing what you're supposed to do, speaking good to edify people that are watching you, the hearers, what are you doing? You're moving off of your emotions. So now you're corrupting everybody that looks up to you. You will never know how many people look up to you until what?
They stop looking up to you.
They start looking up to you. And they start turning their back to you. And they start saying stuff that you know that you said when you was in your feelings one day. Now they saying it to you. You'll be like, God dang, I didn't even know you was even watching me like that. You got to always watch what you say. You got to always watch what you post and how you move in this world that we're living in, because you don't know who's watching you. Don't be the corrupt person. Don't be the corrupt language and corrupt fruit. Be good fruit. Watch what you say. Communicate properly. Like I'm telling you, the stuff that I'm talking about today is not stuff that I just want to say to y'all. This is stuff that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I have to kill that old person that wants to sit here and say whatever. Like when I was in the world, I was a pure asshole. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't care about your feelings. Forget your feelings. It's 2 tears in a bucket. But see, I can't do that as a priest and prophet of the Most High God. Because there's brothers and sisters that look up to me. There's little children. Like, I didn't know that all my nieces and nephews that I know and don't know, they look up to me. I went to the Passover and I saw people come up to me and was like, "Hey, brother, man, we always see how you working." And I was like, "Hey, brother, it's the Lord, but dang, I ain't know y'all look up to me. I look up to y'all. Like, it's y'all. It's not me. I'm no better than y'all." Like, you never know who's looking up to you until they come up to you. So just watch what you say, watch what you post, watch what you do, because at the end of the day, you cannot be that corrupt fruit. You have to be a good fruit, because at the end of the day, people are looking to you to see the Most High God. You are supposed to show what? The marvelous light that the Lord has called you out of darkness to show. You can't do that if you're running off of your emotions. So let's not do it. As a people, as the 12 tribes of Israel, let's watch how we say, watch what we say, watch what we do, watch how we communicate with one another. Every conversation ain't gonna be the best conversation, but at the end of the day, you should remain blameless. Let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 15:1. Once you got it, go ahead and read for me. Appreciate it. Because this is the things that we're going to work on. Everything that we're going to work on is about communication. We're going to work on not, controlling our anger, being slow to anger. All these things is going to help us at the end of the day, because it's going to keep us grounded. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath.
A what?
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Now, a lot of times when we hear soft answers turn away wrath, right? We think about how a wife should talk to her husband. If her husband is getting on her case and correcting her, a soft answer would turn away wrath, right? But can we also talk about how it should be when it's a brother to a brother, or when it's a brother dealing with a sister? Now, brother to brother, right? Say, for instance, I didn't do what Officer Ron was supposed to do, right? And I'm getting checked behind that. I'm getting checked because I had orders to make sure that this food drive was done, that the school was secured, and everything was supposed to be locked up, right? I didn't do it, right? So I'm gonna get checked for that, because that was what my job was supposed to do. I was supposed to make sure that this got done, right? Because I didn't do what I was supposed to do I have the right to sit here and yell or get loud or get emotional based off of me getting checked? Go ahead,
You're not taking responsibility. Then you won't be taking responsibility, and you trying to deflect.
Right. I'm not taking accountability for what I didn't do. See, sometimes, you getting all them check-ins, right? And you dealing with the check-in, you just got to be like, you know what? Kind of one concept, Salakia. You know what? I did not do what I was supposed to do. And by me not following that, I take full accountability for that, Salakia. Do you think that check-in is going to be as rah as it was at the beginning?
No.
Right, because you humbled yourself, because you took accountability for your actions, right? Let's talk about this for a moment, because this happens all the time, right? Dealing with a marriage, brother and a sister, right? Y'all having a conversation, and all of a sudden your wife's voice start getting very loud, and she's yelling because she's hurt behind something, or she just wants to get her point across, right? She feels like you're never listening to her. She can't get her point across. You don't want to hear what she has to say. You know what the best thing to do is, brother? And I'm going to tell you now, I've gotten counsel on this so many times, and it's still hard for me to do at times. But I work on it daily. And I've gotten I got so much better on it. Like, I've gotten counsel from captains and General Muhammad about this so many times. Bro, you can't, just because her voice get up there, don't mean that you need to get up there with her. You ain't got to show her that you the alpha male and yell as loud as she is or louder than she is. Just be like, you know what? Okay. Sit back and just listen. And just be like, all right. Okay. Let her say everything she needs to say. Are you done? Okay, you're not done? Okay, no problem. Just let me know whenever you finish, and then I'll talk. Okay, you done? Okay. Look, I heard everything that you just said, and the only thing I'm just asking you is this. We can have a conversation, but let's just make sure that our volume stays right here. Like, us getting up here is not gonna make the conversation go better, but us staying down here, we can definitely have a conversation. I know you might feel a certain type of way behind that, but you know what? Let's just stay right here so that way I can hear you out fully, you can hear me out, and we can come to a resolution. See, you see that soft answer? She felt like, okay, I said everything I needed to say. I was able to get it out. He heard me. You're just asking her, I want to hear you, but you getting up here is making it harder for me to hear you. So can we bring it back down here? See, you just turned away that wrath because what does your wife want to know? She wants to know that you're willing to hear her, right? She wants to feel like you're respecting her feelings and you're being kind to her feelings, right? And by you doing that, you just want what you want as well. You want her to respect or be kind or compassionate to the fact that you don't want to be yelled at. There's times that a soft answer will turn away wrath. You just have to know how to use that soft answer. And don't feel like you being punked just because you're giving a soft answer to somebody that wants to be up in the rafters. It's okay. There's plenty of times we do shamar. Everybody knows if you've ever done shamar, there's times that people will be yelling and screaming, ready to spit in your face and all that, and you have to be calm. You have to be like, you got to be stoic. You got to be somebody that's just like this. You just got to be sitting there like, okay. You just waiting to hear the order. You just waiting to hear the order, but the whole time you like, okay. Hey, brother, I understand that you're upset right now, but let's just try to, bring it down a little bit, brother, so that way everything can be resolved in the way that it needs to be. Like, I understand that you're mad and upset, but we gotta go about it in a different way. Like, those things are not easy, but the more that you practice it, the easier it gets. So, as a man and as a woman, let's practice on what? Giving that soft answer that turn away wrath. As a man, I hear it all the time. I done got counsel on it all the time. As a man, you ain't gotta always show that you a lion. We know we lions. We know we alpha males. We know that if we start rah, they're going to naturally sit back and get scared. Why? Because our voice rings. But we don't always have to be a lion to get the results that we need. So let's just work on dealing with those things. Like, I'm not saying this to just be like, oh, you got to be a weak man. Man, we know ain't no brother in the I.S.U.P.K a weak man. Ain't no brother in the 12 tribes weak men. But we have to learn how to deal with stuff in a certain way, so that way we can get the results that we need. Same thing with a woman. I'm gonna tell y'all real talk, sisters. Y'all always trying to fight and fuss and argue about how to, get control of your husband. Now, I'm gonna tell you now, control is not something that you can take. Submissiveness is not something that you can take, brothers. Like, submitting to one another And loving on one another is something that has to be given by both parties. It's not something that you can take. Sisters, if you want your husband to be more understanding, I'm going to tell you now, best thing to do is talk to him loving. Just go up to him and talk to him loving and be like, hey, look, you know what, baby? I really hate when you do this. Like, it really offends me. It really hurts my feelings that when I do this, you do this. Or when I'm asking you for some time, you're telling me that you can't make time for me. And watch what your husband do. Your husband gonna be like, okay, well, you know what, baby? You know, I'll do better with making time for you. If we both at the same volume down here, I promise you, I'm 9 times out of 10, if we're both right here, not up here, I'm talking about down here, talking to one another, a conversation will go way smoother. Everybody will be heard. Everybody can move forward together. But we have to both choose to do those things. We have to both work on doing those things as well, right? Let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs 17 and 28.
This is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 28. He that hath
Salakia. We didn't finish Proverbs 15 and 1. There was a second part of that. We got to get into that second part. Let's just go back to that and go to that second part.
But grievous words stir up anger.
So when it says a soft answer, you can go ahead and go to Proverbs 17 and 28. In Proverbs 15 and 1, it says a soft answers turn away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. That's something that I was just talking about. See, when we get upset, when we're speaking out our emotions because we're mad and upset, that stirs up more anger. We have to keep ourselves from getting to that point. We have to prefer one another. Because I'm telling you right now, if you are offended, right, at that point, you're what? You're seeing red. And now everything that you're doing is based off of being what? Upset in the red zone, right? And what good comes out of being in the red? Y'all tell me how many times you've been angry and upset and something good came about that. Sis, have you ever been angry and upset?
Yes.
Has anything came good? Like, has anything ended up being good based off of you being angry and upset? Because at the end of the day, what happened?
I made the problem worse.
You made the problem worse. See, get that sister a hand. Like, sis, I'm with you. But I was the same exact way. There's been plenty of times that I've been angry and upset, but instead of me sitting here and calming myself down, so that way I'm not giving out no grievous words, I just went off of my emotions, and it made the whole situation worse. It made it blow up into something that I really didn't want it to go into, because at the end of the day, it wasn't big. It was something this small. Like you see this little frankincense right here. You can't even really see it in the camera, right? That's how big the problem really was. But because I didn't know how to go about it correctly, it blew up into something major. It blew up into something big. And that's why we can't let our grievous words stir up anger. We have to learn how to communicate with one another, even in our anger. You know, in the book of Ephesians, it says what? Be angry, but sin not, right? Be angry, but sin not. Don't sit here and let the sun go down on your anger. Don't sit here and just yell and be screaming and mad based off of what? Your feelings. Just because you feel a certain type of way doesn't mean that you got to act on those type of feelings, right? Let's go to that Proverbs 17. Go ahead and read once you got it.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
Even a what?
A fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
That's kind of self-explanatory right there, right? Even a fool, when he learns how to hold his peace, he can be counted as wise, right? Why? Because everything don't need to be said. That's something like if you learn that in your everyday life, if you learn that every action doesn't have to cause for you to react to it, bro, a lot of things will come easier to you. Stop thinking that everything is attacking your manhood. Stop thinking that everything is attacking your womanhood, and he's trying to treat me like I'm a sucker, or she trying to treat me like I'm a little punk. Stop thinking like that. If you stop thinking like that, I'm telling you right now, because I'm gonna tell you, if you're secure in yourself, can't nobody make you feel like you weak. If you're secure in yourself, nothing that somebody can say will make you feel weak. Because it's just words, right? And as long as you're not putting your hands on me, words are just words. Words can't break me. What you're saying to me can't break me. But you have to first know who you are. See, the Bible says that what? We are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation, a people called by the Most High God to come out of darkness into his marvelous light. But then you always got to go back to those commandments. The first two commandments was to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul, and to love one another as you love yourself, right? So if those are the things, right, and you're securing yourself, why would we sit here and say anything crazy to one another? You don't have to worry about what? Being a fool. Because a fool, what? Will say anything that comes to his mind. But a fool, but even in the scripture, it says, even a fool, when he learns how to be quiet, will be counted as what? Wise. Because everything does not need you to speak on. Learn when your words need to be said or when your silence need to be brought out. Mind you, what I'm saying to you is what I say to myself, what I have to check myself on daily. Because there's sometimes I feel like I should respond to something. If I see something or something is brought to me, I feel like, you know what, I need to say something. But see, there's sometimes that I'll call and I'll get some counsel and be like, hey, Salakia, sir. Hey, Shalom, y'all about to Salakia, sir, if I could real quick. Okay, this was what was said to me. And I really and truthfully, I don't appreciate that at all. Like, I really want to go at them. I really want to say something. And then I get a quick check in reality. Okay, so you want to say something based off of that? Okay, so where would it go after that? So you feel some type of way about what they said. So where would it go after that? So what if they double down on what they said and they tell you to pull up? Then what are you going to do at that point? What are you going to do? Because right now it seems like you're talking out of your emotions and your pride. So what are you going to do? Like, this is how we got to think. When I was young in the truth, that's how I was. I would call and be like, hey, Salakia, sir, hey, man, this brother just said this. And that's exactly what they would say to me. So what's your rank? Salakia, sir, I'm a trooper. Oh, okay, you're a trooper. Okay, so let's just go through this. All right, let's just go through it. So what's going to happen? Because you didn't like the checking that you got. So, or you didn't like the fact that this person looked at you funny. So what if they tell you, well, pull up if you got a problem? So what you gonna do, huh? And because when I was a trooper, I couldn't really get myself out of the worldly mindset. I'm gonna pull up. And it got me messed up. Because I was prideful, right? Oh, I'm gonna pull up. Okay, hey, what you gonna do once you pull? Man, I'm gonna see what he talking about. So what if he talk gun to your vocal fight? Your verbal fight turns into gunplay. Then what? I'm on whatever he on. Like, what are we really talking about here? Like, if he talking about throwing hands, we're gonna throw hands. If he talking about anything, I'm on what you on. And then you know what they used to say to me that always cut me? They used to be like, so you're on whatever they're on. So the Most High is not gonna have his warrior because you're emotional. You're ready to die about what? Words? You're ready to die because of what? Because you're a fool just like they're a fool. When you could not respond to it, they're looking to get you out of your body. Because at the end of the day, when that person is saying something like, okay, so what you want? What is that? And who really is that?
I mean, it kind of sounds like they're trying to entice you to do something. It may not always be wrong, but they're trying to get you out of character.
Who is trying to get you out of character?
I mean, it's probably a demon inside of them.
It is probably, or
Definitely.
it is. It's definitely a demon, right? You got to be able to see the spiritual demons. You got to be able to see that it's a spiritual warfare. You got to understand that. That demon wants you to pull up. Why? Because it got you isolated. For it to do what? Kill and destroy you. But if you become a wise man learns when it's time to speak or when it's time to be quiet. A wise man learns to be like, you know what? It's no sweat. Oh, brother, you feel you offended? Salakia, brother. Salakia that I offended you. Oh, you want to argue? I'm like it's crazy. Everybody's singing Plies, right? What did Plies say when he was talking about that girl that want to argue? No, you want to argue. I can't argue with you. You mad. You big man. Like, you got to learn how to see the problem from a mile away and learn how to deal with it. So that way, what? You're not a fool. Be somebody that's counted as wise by not saying everything that comes to your mind, because everything that comes to your mind at that time, it's not really needed. It's really not. You have to learn when it's time to talk and when it's time to sit there and be quiet. We all know that old school. Now, I'm a country boy. There was a song that says you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You got to know when it's time to say something and when it's time to be quiet. Let's drop that out. Let's go to let's go to 1 Peter 3 and 10. Let's go to 1 Peter 3 and 10. And then after that, we're gonna go back to Proverbs. Let's go to 1 Peter 3 and 10. Once you got that, go ahead and read it from me, Baba Kashan.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 10.
Right.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. Verse 11.
That's it right there. Why is it saying, for he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil? Why do you think that it's saying that?
You can say some things that cause you to lose your life depending on where you're at.
Say that in the microphone for me one time, brother. Say that in the mic.
You can
say some things that'll cause you to lose your life depending on where you're at.
You can say some things that will cause you to lose your life depending on where you at, right? How many times have we seen that in our communities? A lot. How many times have we seen that in our households and marriages? A lot. Now, you want to know what's even crazier? How many times have we seen that in schools, in high schools and middle schools? Because I'm gonna be real with you. I had some partners in high school that got capital murder charges. I got partners in high school that got caught up in a case, assault case in high school behind something that somebody said. Because we deal with, everybody just wants to say something. Like, you feel like you have to speak on something that's being said. You don't always have to give attention to what somebody is saying. If you feel like that person wrong, go to talk to them person. Do Matthews 18 and 15. If I feel like something that you said offended me, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, what you just said it was really offensive, bro. I really don't appreciate what you said to me, because at the end of the day, ain't how you have to talk to me. If they decide to hear you out, Most High in Christ, we can resolve the issue. If they don't, then what does the scripture say do? In Matthew 18 and 15, it says what? Take him and 2 others with you, right? That means take him to counsel. See, in the world, people don't respect counsel in the world. In the world, people like, man, hey, I said what I said, and that's what it is. See, that's when you got to learn how to be a smart and wise man, right? If I bring something to a person, right, and he don't really want to hear what I'm saying, what does that mean? I want one of y'all to tell me, what does that mean? What should I do at that point? I'm trying to gain a brother in the world, but the brother in the world doesn't care to hear what I have to say. And he really doesn't care, because at the end of the day, he gonna do whatever he feel like doing anyway. What should I do next?
That's what you take the counsel.
If it's a brother in the world, he don't care about counsel.
You got to move around sometimes. I mean, you can speak those.
Say it in the mic.
I said you got to move around sometimes. You can try to speak those soft words with him, try to get him to see from your perspective, but if they're not yet your brother, sometimes you got to give him time to get there.
Right. And the only way to give him time to get there is to do what? Like the brother said, walk away. Sometimes you got to move around, because what? At the end of the day, everybody don't have the same mindset to follow these scriptures. These scriptures, if I got to take you to counsel, I'm going to take you to counsel. But sometimes you got to deal with people that don't care about the scriptures. They don't really care about following the law, statutes, and commandments. So what you got to learn how to do is you got to learn how to be a wise man. You got to learn how to walk away from that. That's the same thing with women. Every female ain't your friend. They're not going to run with you. They ain't going to put you in their circle. And sometimes, even though they put you in their circle, they're going to show themselves to not be a friend. You got to learn how to walk away from them. Because if you don't walk away from them, then what happens? Now y'all in an argument. Now y'all at odds with one another. Now y'all ready to fight. Now somebody's going to get arrested, or somebody's going to get hurt seriously, because now pride is in the way. And we all know what happens with pride. Pride comes before a fall and destruction. So understand this. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil. You gotta watch what you say. You gotta watch who you hang around with. Because at the end of the day, what did it say about honoring thy mother and thy father? If you want your days to be long, you're supposed to do what? Honor your people, right? You gotta honor each other as well. Because if you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, if you're dishonoring what the Lord told you to do, then what's gonna happen? You think your days gonna be long on this earth if you're not doing what the Lord asked for you to do? The Lord will make your days shorten. He will shorten your days like that. Because everybody gets a warning before the Lord's judgment comes. The Lord sends a warning before something happens. If you want your days to be long, learn how to not say stuff at times. Learn how to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because if not, Lord be with you. And we all know what Lord be with you really means. Let's go to Proverbs 18 and 21. The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21. Once you got to go ahead and read from it, brother. These are the things that we have to worry about, man. These are the things that we have to focus on every single day. If you let a demon or if you let your pride get in the way, then a fall will come. Destruction will come. Separation and division comes. We have to work on these things and show ourselves to really be followers of the Most High God. Go ahead and read.
This is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21.
Right.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Death and life are in the power of the what?
Of the tongue.
Keep going.
And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
And they that love it will eat of the fruit thereof. Why do you think the Bible is saying death or life is what? In the power of the tongue. Because what you say and what you do can either bring life into somebody or bring death into somebody. What you say and what you do can either bring life into your marriage or death into your marriage. It can bring life into sisterhood or it can bring death into sisterhood. It can bring life into brotherhood or it can bring death. Everything that we say or do can cause either good or bad from it. And if we're followers of Christ, what should we be looking for? It to bring what?
Good fruit.
Good fruit. But if we don't understand that, what? If I feel like what I have to say is more important than bringing forth good fruit, then what's going to happen? Death is going to happen. Because what I say is more important. Like, we have to watch how we speak to one another. We got to watch how we handle one another. Because some people just, like, a lot of times people don't always understand what you meant by what you said. They only hear your words. They only hear what you said. They're not looking at the background of what you're saying. They're not trying to find the spirit behind what you said. What they're worried about is what you actually said. And if what you actually said has hurt them, now they have turned their ears off. And in marriages, I'm telling you right now, life or death really happens in the tongue of a marriage. And then at the end of the day, being parents, this is something that I learned. I learned this once I became a parent, a father, right? What I do don't just affect me. Me arguing, me yelling and screaming, and me being up in the rafters, it don't just affect me. Because if I say something that ends the relationship, and me and my wife become separated, right? What does that do to the children?
Separates the children from mother and father.
It separates the children from having a home, a household that has structure. Because true structure is when a mother and a father is there. Because a mother's role is to be what? The nurturer. The father's role is to be what? He
God, protection,
all that.
guide, protect, and to bring structure. See, the wife is the nurturing, loving, and you know, she has to bring the structure as well. But the father's role is to be, you know, I'm bringing this structure. I'm gonna be the bad guy most of the time, because at the end of the day, they gotta understand that what their mother said is based off of what I told her to tell them. Follow these orders. Boy, what your mama tell you to do? But let me tell you something right now. You better go clean them dishes like your mother said clean them dishes. But what happens if I'm no longer in that household, bro?
that structure's gone.
The structure is gone. Why is the structure gone? Because what? Of who? Whose fault is it?
It's my fault.
Whoever decided to bring death into the marriage because of their tongue, it's y'all's fault. And who suffers at the end of the day?
My children.
The children. And that's what we can't have. Our children are innocent. Our children didn't ask to be in this world. We brought them in this world. And we should give them the best life possible. So we have to watch how we treat one another. We have to watch what we say, because we got to understand life or death is in the tongue. And what we say and what we do can either help our children or hurt our children in the long run. That's the same thing that happened with us. When we grew up, I know there's a lot of people that didn't grow up in a two-parent household. Somebody probably grew up with their grandma. Some people grew up with their mom and their dad, but they saw their mom and dad arguing all the time, and they didn't know whose side to be on. And the messed up part about it is you had to feel like you had to choose a side. Because our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents didn't know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. They just knew what? Argue my point. I feel like this, so I'm saying this. We have to be the change. We have to be greater. We have to be better. And it takes us understanding these scriptures and doing them and instilling them in our households for us to be better. Break the generational curse. Go to Proverbs 25 and 28 for me. Once you got to go ahead and read.
This is from Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
He that has what?
No rule over his own spirit.
Let's just get into that, right? He that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down and without walls. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna ask this question. Do you feel secure in your house if your house didn't have a front door or a back door that had locks on it? If you was in a house without doors, do you feel secure?
Nah, so you're in a carport.
Wait. Why you don't feel secure, brother? Brother, why you don't feel secure?
Everybody come in, anything and anything can come in.
Dang. You wanna know what's crazy? That's the same way the Most High feel about you not having control over your spirit. To him, you look like a carport that's supposed to be a house. You're just running off of your emotions. You have no control over your spirit. Everything to you has to be a fight. Everything to you has to be, you are trying me. And the Lord just looking at you like, God dang, man. Look at my son. My son know good and god dang well. Why are you mad right now? Why? Why has it gotta be that? Why you gotta you acting like a volcano? You just ready to erupt. Why? Why? That's why the scripture said what? Read the scripture again. It said what?
He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Do you trust your money to be in a bank if your bank don't have a safe?
Nah.
Why?
Somebody skank you up.
Right. Do you trust riding in a car that ain't got no doors?
Jeeps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No doors, no seatbelts, no nothing. And you on the highway going 80 miles per hour. You trust that car?
I don't trust that driver.
You don't trust that? I'm not getting in that. Why? Because there's certain security and certain structure that goes along with what? Having those type of protection. Now, say for instance, we all know Jeeps, Jeep Renegades and all that. You could take the doors off of a Jeep, right? But you have that what? That safety and that protection by that seatbelt, right? Now, if you have a car that don't have no type of protection, no type of nothing at all, you just in that mug, and if you turn left or right, you got to hold on like this, turn left and right.
Flintstones.
Like, you're not going to trust that because one wrong move and what? You tumbling down the road. That's the same thing with you not knowing how to control yourself. When you don't know how to control your anger, you're just like that tumbling car. You just going like this. You're like a roller coaster. You're going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's never stable. Go ahead,
That's also look, that's on the line. Okay, some people act like they don't want to wear seatbelts. Like, that's crazy. Is that tempting the Lord? Like, oh, you know, just gonna take your seatbelt off in the car, like go hit the freeway. Like, oh no, Lord with me.
Hey, brother, let me tell you something. You should never tempt the Lord. Just don't do it. Take your safety precautions, and that's what you should do at all times. You have them for a reason. What you need to do is this. Let me tell y'all something. Follow what the scripture is saying. When it says, he that has no rule over his spirit is like a city broken down without walls, you got to learn how to build your walls, right? You got to learn how to check that spiritual demon that you're dealing with at that time. Like, if somebody is saying something to get a reaction out of you, your first thing should be like, you know what? See it for what it really is. See, okay, at this point, hey, you really and truthfully trying me. But why are you trying me? Because there must be something that I'm doing that's really and truthfully good. And the Lord sees it as something that's good or great. And what are you doing at this point? You trying to make me what? Turn away from the Most High God? You're trying to what? Get me all riled up. So now I turn away from doing what I'm supposed to be doing to deal with you. Nah. I'm going to stay focused. Because that's what a demon wants you to do, is get off task. It wants you to not be focused. Stay focused. Learn how to control your spirit. Learn how to control your demons. Learn how that everything doesn't cause for you to have a reaction to it. again, like these things, you might feel like it's hard, but the more that you work on it, the easier it becomes. Following the law, statutes, and commandments, what does it say? They're not grievous. They're not hard. They're just things that you have not been used to doing. Like you have been used to being a firecracker 24/7. Now you're having to learn how to control your anger. And by you learning how to control your anger, what is that going to do? It's going to help you become a better person, a better man, a better leader, a better wife, a better sister, a better brother, a better what? Officer or captain. These are the things that we have to focus on. Don't be a wall. Don't be a city without walls. Don't be a house without doors that lock. Don't be that. Because like you said, at that point, you're just a carport. Would you be able to sleep in a house that doesn't have a door that locks? If you didn't have a front door, a back door, or a garage door, would you be able to sleep in that house and feel like you're secure?
Depends on what's sitting on my lap all night.
Hey, brother, let me tell you
But
something.
you're still not secure.
You still not secure because I'm gonna tell you now. I understand what you saying. Depends on what's on your lap, but you know that there's some people around here that light on their feet.
Yeah.
They won't. You can hear a rat piss on cotton, and you're not gonna hear them coming.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you wake up, whatever was sitting on your lap is now in their hands pointed at your face.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times somebody will pick up something and just be like, "Hey, let me go ahead and get that up off you. Let me get that wallet. Let me get that phone. Let me get all that." You're not gonna feel secure because at the end of the day, this is the reason why we have doors. This is why we have locks on our doors. This is why we have a garage door that shuts down and you can't lift it up without what? Tearing up the garage door. By that time, you're gonna hear it. Security comes when you learn how to control your spirit. Let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs 29 and 11.
Listen to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
A fool does what?
Uttereth all his mind.
A fool utters all his mind. A fool will sit here and say everything. See, you know what was crazy? And this is why we got to stop listening to our oppressor. What did our oppressor say? If you was real, what would you do? You would say whatever comes to your mind. You will say anything that comes to your mind. You'll just blurt it out. But what does the Bible say?
A fool uttereth all his mind.
A fool uttereth all his mind. Why do you think that it's saying a fool will utter all his mind?
Because he speaks and say whatever.
He just says whatever. He doesn't have any structure on what he's saying. Because you remember, we can go back here to Ephesians 4 and 29 when it says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to be used of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers." If I'm just going to utter whatever comes to my mind, if I'm just going to say whatever I feel like saying and don't care about what I'm saying, who it may offend or who it may hurt at the end of the day, am I truly edifying you? Am I truly making it to a point where I'm showing the Most High God's light in this world of darkness, I'm just doing whatever I feel like it. So I'm no longer put the Most High God and Christ first. I'm sitting here putting myself first, my selfishness. Can you be selfish and be a follower of Christ?
No.
Can you be selfish and do what the Most High God asks for you to do?
No.
Why?
Because he's asking you to give yourself for his people to bring forward fruit. So that's being selfless. You can't be about you. You got to be about the Most High's business.
Exactly. If you're about the Most High God's business, if I'm about my Father's work, I can't be a selfish person. It ain't always about me. And when you're a fool and you utter everything that's on your mind, you become a very selfish person. Because if you're saying everything that's on your mind, are you really listening to somebody else? Are you really there to help others? Or are you there to just say whatever's on your mind? Let's drop that. Let's go to go to Proverbs 16 and 32.
This is the Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
Let me tell you something. The mightiest person on this world is counted as a weak person if they don't know how to control themselves. How can you be the mightiest person on this earth, but somebody can trick you out your position based off of words? You can't be mighty at that point. So many of our brothers and sisters are locked up in jail right now because of what? Words. So many families are destroyed right now because of what? Words. So many people run from their responsibilities because of what? Words. Like, people run from this is the craziest thing. I done seen brothers and sisters come into the school and leave out of the school because they did not want structure. They didn't want structure. Because what? You are held accountable for your words. If you say that this is what you're going to do, you're going to be held to do it. And if you, right here, if you don't know how to be slow to anger, because it says he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. If you don't know how to be slow to anger, what are you going to naturally do?
Are you gonna speak whatever you think? You're gonna read a brother. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start. I would say schisms.
Right, you're gonna start schisms because you don't know how to be slow to anger. Everything that you do has to be about you. It has to be about your selfishness. It has to be about what I want. I'm not slow to anger. So anytime somebody says something that correcting you, you're not going to take the correction. What are you going to do based off of that correction that you were given? Right, you're going to do the opposite. Because at the end of the day, you feel like what you're doing is what? Right. You feel like everything that you're doing is right. And if you are being corrected and you don't like being corrected, then you're not going to hear somebody tell you, hey, what you're doing, I understand why you're trying to do that, but you're going about it in the wrong way. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear somebody say, hey, bro, what you're doing right now is really wrong, bro. Like, I think you should get some counsel, brother. I think you should go about it in a different way, in a different manner, so that way you can better get a better result from it. I think there's a better way of doing this, but you're not going to hear that. You have to be better. You have to be slow to your anger. You cannot communicate properly with anybody if you get angry too quickly. If everything somebody says offends you and you get to the point where you up in the rafters, would you ever be able to communicate?
No.
You have to learn how to be slow to anger. That's why so many mighty people that could be doing the work of the Lord right now is locked up in prison. Because they wasn't slow to anger. They was around here matching energies or creating certain energies that could nobody match. So we just got to learn how to be better. We got to learn how to talk to one another. We got to learn how to deal with situations better. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Chapter 5, verse 10. Hey, I sent it to your phone. Oh yeah, you got it right there. No, you worry about it. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 10.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 10 in the Apocrypha. Be steadfast in thine understanding, and let thy word be the same.
Keep going.
Verse 11. Be swift to hear,
Mm-hmm.
and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer.
Understand this, man. We have to learn how to be swift to hear. That's a little bit different than what we were taught to do, right? We were taught to be swift to do what? Speak. I had to be swift to speak. I got to say what I got to say, right? But what does the Bible say in verse 11? It says, be what?
Be swift to hear.
And do what?
And let thy life be sincere.
And with what?
And with patience give answer.
See, when we start listening to the Bible tells us it tells us to do something different than what our parents taught us. Hey, Shalom. I.S.U.P.K. I'm teaching class. What's going on? All right, no sweat. I got you. All right, no. When we grew up, right, we was taught to be what? Swift to speak. Speak your full mind. Say what you have to say, and let that be it, right? The Bible is telling us to be swift to hear. Why do you think that it's saying be swift to hear?
So you can listen.
So you can listen, but why are you listening?
So you can understand where they're coming from.
So you can understand where somebody's coming from. Everybody that's swift to talk, they're not swift to hear. Those that are swift to hear, they have a different mindset. They have a mindset to try to really resolve a situation. When you're swift to say how you feel about something to the point where you really don't want to hear the other person, you're not really trying to resolve an issue. What you're really trying to do is what? Fuss, fight, and argue. I'm acting like a lawyer in a courtroom instead of a husband talking to my wife. Or you were being a lawyer in a courtroom instead of a wife trying to resolve an issue with her husband. Or I'm trying to sit here and try to show my authority over you, brother, instead of us gaining one another. Or vice versa with a sister. Right? We have to learn how to be swift to hear and with patience give an answer. See that's the thing that in the black community, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, we don't have that many patience. We tell people quickly, man, you are on my last nerve. We don't have a lot of patience, but we have to learn how to have patience. We have to learn how to what? Prefer one another. Listen to one another. And with patience, give an answer. That means don't be quick to respond based off of something that someone says. Just hear them out. And not only hear them out, take time to digest what they said. And ask questions. Be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so I have a question. Just so that way I can further understand you, right? Are you saying that you would rather me do this instead of what I've been doing? Or are you telling me you would rather me add this onto what I've already been doing for you? Say, for instance, if me and this brother, we had an argument, right? And you told me, look, Officer Ron, I don't like the fact that every time I'm talking to you, you over talking me. I would have to acknowledge that. I have to be like, all right, brother, well, go ahead and say what you have to say. Salakia. Me saying Salakia is like me trying to let you know, brother, I hear you. I'm acknowledging what you're saying, what you have to say. And right there, that's how you gain a brother. That's how you gain a sister. That's how you gain family. By not always trying to be on top, but learn how to what? Work with one another. Being swift to hear and giving patience when you are giving your answer, right? Everything that we learn today is about communication and how to properly communicate with one another so that way we can better what? Gain one another. Our households are based off of these things right here. Now, I'm going to tell you now, if you want to sit here and still deal with the curses that you've been given from your parents, passed down from generation on to generation, and keep the cycle of breaking up households, and keep doing what you're doing. See, here in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commander General YAHANNA, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are here to break generational curses. These are the things that we have to do. These are the things and the way that we have to live so that way we are loving on one another as we would love ourselves. I don't want to feel like nobody's listening to me. So if I don't want to feel like nobody's listening to me, that means I have to listen to others. Because if I treat others how I would want to be treated, and if I keep that mindset, then there should never be a problem. But if there is a problem, it's because maybe I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And let me hear what the problem is so that way I can resolve it. And with that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sister. So what I'm going to say is Majum, which means to stand. So, Salakia. I'm going to be out of the camera a little bit, but we all good out. I'll just go back. Majum Shabbat. Majum. Barak. Yahal Ba'ashim Yahweh Brakatah. Yat Yamatah. Sar, which means to face the sisters. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel. Majum Shabbat. Majum. Barak. Yahweh Shamal Ba'ashim Yahweh Yat Yamatah. Class dismissed.